How did you think it looked? Because I know that people were a little concerned after the trailer.
Galactus?
No.
Of the movie?
Yes.
This is one of Marvel's best looking movies. Visual effects are, I mean, it's really easy to notice when they don't look great. Like sometimes the baby looks like a really fake baby.
That's true, especially the baby's arms at one point. I was like, "What is that?" But that's okay. I'd rather them treat the baby well on set
Yeah.
and give the baby breaks and give us a little bit of a fake baby sometimes.
Exactly. I'm not going to ask much from a baby. And then, of course,
That
like,
baby was a crap actor.
and of course, like stretching moments is like a lot of times I look great to stretch, but then other times he's like, "Yeah, okay, this looks a little weird." But beyond that, other than those couple of things, vast majority of the time, like the art design of this world, the way they realize this like retro 1960s alt New York on a production level is gorgeous. And then on a visual effects level, CGI, the thing that people often are like, Marvel's VFX artist and it's just not looking good, it looks bad. It is undoubtedly one of the best looking MCU movies they've ever done. What
I
did you think?
completely agree. I think that's also part of why I really like Johnny. I thought that he just
It
looked
looked great. It looked great.
phenomenal.
So did Thing a lot of time, yeah.
Yeah, and I was a little nervous about Thing in the trailer because there was a one scene where I was like, I don't know if this is gonna vibe with it, but I thought that he looked awesome. I think that it was like exactly what I wanted him to look like, and there was not many moments where I flinched about the CG. There really wasn't. Is this? I'm guessing the answer is an obvious yes, but this is your favorite Fantastic Four movie?
Yeah, oh, I mean, it's just like it's like 20 minutes in, you're like, "This is gonna be the best one."
Yeah,
Uh,
sure.
Now that we've talked about all these things and moved around, so yeah, what did you think of the story and everything? Did you like the movie?
Yeah, the second that it's like set in for me was about 5 minutes into this, where I thought to myself, I love this. Like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna love this movie. And then it didn't let up. I love the story that they told. It did have a lot of emotional stakes. There was certain things that were a little predictable because I too know a lot of stories. But I didn't mind that. I think you're supposed to use the comics to and take parts that really are impactful and then
Yeah.
put them on the screen. That's what you're supposed to do. So while some of it was a little predictable, I loved the choices they made. And there was one point where it's a Johnny moment. I won't give it away, but he says something that I started tearing up because I just loved. I loved the way that he delivered it. Both Johnny and Sue really tugged at my heartstrings.
Yeah.
How did you feel about the story?
I think I would echo the exact same thing. Like the moment it starts, you're like, "Oh, this is gonna be about the human side of them." Like this
Really,
the opening scene,
yeah.
and then the way they do how they catch you up on who I won't give it away, but the way they catch you up on who the Fantastic Four are, there's such a intentional sense of style, and
That probably took them so long, Greg.
it's looked like a pain, but it is one of the coolest things MCU has done, and there's so much wonder, like, when people watch The Incredibles and they're like, "Oh, this is finally like a Fantastic Four movie." This is the live action version, They really bring it to life,
Yes.
and the way the story progresses, like, it has wonder, it has heart, it has a lot of character-driven narrative. There's tension, like, there's genuine moments of, like, actual suspense, there's some really good action in here. I do think I don't want this to be taken out of context. The second half of this movie, I do think it's like there's so many great scenes and some of my favorite scenes. I do think there's a bit of a pacing thing that it kind of dragged a little bit in the second half.
Was it specific lines, characters, or just you felt like it was going a little slower?
I think the battle was actually within my head because I'm like, I know what the finale is supposed to sort of be because of the trailers, and I feel like they're stretching this out a little bit. But it's so important because so much of that is still character development. So much of that is still like they lean so much more into their intelligence than their powers, and especially when it comes to Reed. And a lot of that is really hammered home in the second half of this movie when you're trying to like, how the hell do we take down Galactus? So much of that movie is about like trying to figure it out on paper, and they make it engaging. And I am wondering if it was just sort of like that anxious itch to be like, yeah, come, but I know where we're gonna go, and I want to see that actions, you know. So I do feel like there's a bit of a stretch there, but it's so minor to me, and I highly doubt most people will feel that.
I didn't feel that. One thing that I did feel though, as we're giving critiques on this, is that there was, without giving spoilers, the people, the citizens, for the most part, seemed to all kind of do what was asked of them. And I just thought about our world and how there would be such opposing forces that I was like, okay, this is not our world. Like this is a whole different thing. And I'll save that for spoiler chat a different time. But that was kind of to me like, all right, this is convenient.
Yeah, I do feel weirdly, as much as there's a stretch part, I also feel like I could feel sometimes when I'm like, you definitely had to like cut some shit out,
But
huh? You definitely had to cut some shit out. You could just sort of put it together, and it's easier to detect. But the honestly, like this, I don't want to get too hampered down by that because like
it was excellent.
my criticisms are so minor compared to the surprise experience of this, and I like it sounds like such a what's the word? Like an easy talking point to be like, this is what a Marvel's best. And I don't want to immediately say that because there's so many fucking Marvel movies.
But it
But,
was really
but
that's what yeah.
but it's pretty good. And you also don't need to know any of the other Marvel movies.
Which I have been looking for a really long time. Greg, there have been 4 superhero movies this year. Captain America, which I know that you didn't love. I know.
Yeah.
Superman, Thunderbolts, and you loved Superman and Thunderbolts, and this movie, of course. Where does this lie after first viewing? We won't hold you to it. You guys probably will hold him to it. I know how you work.
It's weird. I actually feel like this movie's better put together in terms of like it's not like I can see some of the messy seams of editing and pacing when it comes to Superman, but Superman gave me more emotion that I really connected to. I do think this is a better constructed movie. Thunderbolts is more of the sensibilities I personally appeals. But I don't know. I guess I would say
The crazy thing about that, Greg, is you and I are on the exact same page when it comes to it. I actually think that this story-wise was so great and was so well crafted that it might be the best of those 4. But Superman is above this for
yeah.
me, so I think I go just because of the emotional, personal impact
Yeah.
that that movie had on me, and how much I love that character and how much Lois Lane impacted me.
Mm.
But this movie, I so am excited to see the future of Marvel because of this, which is really cool. So I would probably at this point go Superman, then this, then Thunderbolts, then Cap, which I still even liked Cap, but it's a good year for superhero movies so far.
Yeah, and especially for I mean, this is one of those experiences where you could watch these Superman and Fantastic Four, and they complement each other.
And how cool is
Yeah.
that in 2025, we have Superman and this movie in theaters at the same time? Like, come on, a Fantastic Four movie the same year
Yeah.
as Superman movie in theaters at the same time. We are spoiled.
Yeah, it's like both the retro vibes and that they just throw you in there. You don't need to do the origin. There's so many similarities in a lot of ways. They're both about family. Like there's a lot of great similarities.